They say that the average person now picks up their phone or check their phone 150 times a day. And on average, we can't go like 6 or 7 minutes without checking our phones. Which, when you think of something like that, that's why this topic that I have right now, the war on attention, is so crucial to our success and our goals and what we want out of life, our projects, right? Because it's all about how you frame it. And we have to be conscious. And this is the main thing my channel is about, is bringing you guys up to speed and making you guys conscious of your own mind, right? And then knowing when some things feel like it's out of your hand, you can have that power and that control back because now you're conscious about how your mind actually works. And we'll go deeper into that as this live, goes on and whatnot. But let's just get right into it. The war on attention. So like I said, 150 times that we check our phones a day, and then we can't go 6 or 7 minutes. 6 or 7 minutes. It's funny. I think the book is coming to me now. I think I got this concept out of the book, The Distracted Mind. We can't go 6 or 7 minutes without checking phone. And so if we think about it in that fashion, let's say, because, and this is another thing I'm gonna eventually teach y'all with time, and that's really gonna be what I show you guys over in my free community, Philosopher Paradise. Is you can look me up on school. You will see me. I'll pop up, and I'll make sure I drop a link. Anyways, over there, you know what? Let me do that right now for you guys, actually. So just in case anybody pop in, you already have it. You don't have to worry about it. Because that's the whole point. I want to make it, as seamless as possible for you guys to join and sign up. I don't want y'all going through the headaches of, you know, boom, I just sent it. Boom. From me to you. From me to you. There you go. Anyways, where else I getting that? Oh, so yes, that's concerning. So this is the thing. A lot of the tasks that you guys want, the inputs, and that's what it's all about, is the inputs, man. Sometimes you gotta let the outputs be what it is. And that's why my channel is called Health and Philosopher. If y'all didn't know, I also study philosophy, right? And that's one of the philosophical viewpoints and concepts, what they like to call stoicism, right? And stoicism isn't just about being cold with your emotional state and things of that nature, but it's also about only being concerned. That's why my last live, like I said, that last live, I told y'all on purpose I was just gonna keep it surface, so we can have kind of like a technical term, detox. I didn't want to get too technical and scientific on that live, but now I can start pulling in more philosophical concepts, and I can start giving more scientific reasonings. Anyways, Stoicism, one of the main concepts was only be concerned about the controllables and not the uncontrollables, right? And y'all remember that last lie. So when we thinking about the war on attention and that we check our phones every 6 to 7 minutes, if we're trying to complete a task that takes, let's say, really it takes 30 minutes, we can extend that task easily. And I know you guys have done this before. You guys have completed a task, but realistically, you like, wait a minute, why did it take me 3 hours to complete a 30-minute task? You know why? It's this right here. Believe it or not, you checking your phone every 6 to 7 minutes. That's a real thing, because I read this something like when was this? And I read this. I read this probably back when I was in high school. Yeah, I've been nerding out since high school. I think it was something where they said that on average, when our focus, when it's a blocking our focus and we have to refocus, sometimes on average I think it takes 10 to 15 minutes to refocus. So if you do the math for that and you keep checking your phone 6 to 7 minutes at a time, you will be surprised why it takes you 3 hours, 6 hours to complete a 30-minute task. And we all been here before. I'm not trying to say I'm Mr. Perfect, but after studying, it made me more conscious. And that's what I want you guys to be, more conscious about your mind. So that's why when I keep telling you guys about the inputs, that's all I care for you guys to really do is the inputs, the actual steps. Because another side of the concept of stoicism is that um, you can't really control the outputs. You can control your inputs though, like the decisions that you make and what you implement, what you apply. You can control those things because that's something that you do. And also, I want to touch on that while we're talking about the war on attention, is that we have to even understand like what is attention in a neuroscience neurological sense. Attention works like this. It's a whole different function, and one of those functions is called they call it the DAN. It's abbreviated DAN, and what the DAN is pretty much it's a dorsal attention network. Stay with me. I know y'all like what are you talking about? But just stay with me. So essentially, the way we process attention, I'm about to keep it plain and simple. The way we process like any type of new form of information is that we have to be attentive of it first. We have to be attentive, and then what we do as humans naturally is we try to predict. We try to predict outcomes. And y'all be like, what do you mean by that? For example, it'd be the most simple things in everyday to day life, like opening a door to a store. Before we even open that door, it's funny. We actually try to predict how heavy the door may be, how light it may be. That's why sometimes, if you notice, you will pull open a door and you would get stuck in the door because your mind tried to predict that the door was lighter than what it was. So now so just remember. So now your attention, then you trying to predict it, and then the human mind tries to correct it, and then when you sleep on it, you have your hippocampus, which binds like certain like memory sensories, and I can get more specific on that. But let me just lay this down so you can stay with me. And it binds it, so when you sleep, and it starts internalizing that memory, and it stores it into the cortex, right? So, anyways, the war on attention. So when okay, I'm not trying to have a brain fart, guys. Like I said, I don't script none of these lives, guys. What I do, I might jot down three main topics that I want to hit on, and I just go. But what was I getting at? Yeah, about the inputs, and now we're talking about attention, right? So attention is a whole separate like function in itself. So what we have, and this is why it's this concept that I read out of this book, and it says it's a difference between being distracted and it's a difference between being interrupted. So let's write that down so y'all can stay with me. So you got being distracted, and guys, I love this. I love helping you guys out and really giving you guys value. So like this isn't so y'all watching this, like I know y'all like, dang man, he up in the morning teaching this stuff. Cause I love this, man. I love helping y'all. Like I said, I'm the guy, you're the hero, and society, traps, they're the villains in this story, right? And like I said, the reason why I look at myself as a guide and not the hero is that I'm not coming to like save you guys and you guys are hopeless, and then I'm the one that slaps the villain and slap the bad guy. No, I'm the guide. I'm just there to unfreeze you and say, hey man, just slap the villain. See what I mean? See, that's why you guys are the hero in this story. So distracted versus interruption. Interruption. So I read about this concept in a book, right? And this is actually from a neuroscience. So this isn't like a like pseudoscience or anything like that. So what they classified as a distraction is something that takes you off of that task completely. And I'm about to wrap it around with my previous point. Just trust me, I got you. So it's going to take you off of your task altogether. That's a distraction, right? Because it's the war on attention. So it takes you off of your task completely. That's a distraction. An interruption, which I think sometimes I say sometimes a interruption can be more deadlier than a distraction, a complete distraction. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because the concept of a interruption is this. It's when you're doing a thing called multitasking, which multitasking is a false. It's a fallacy, right? It's a falsehood. What's really happening is a thing called. I'm about to write it down here. So we got quote unquote, which is wrong, multitasking, and whoever interjected this term in society really screwed over a lot of people. Multitasking. That's why. So when I put these quotation marks or whatever here, this is like being sarcastic, so-called multitasking, right? So multitasking, you got that. And but what it really is now, I'm not gonna put any quotation marks on it. What multitasking really is, I'm gonna say equals to rapid task switching. Rapid task switching. So let me put that in like practical sense, like everyday distraction versus interruption. A distraction. Let's say you was driving on the road and you were using a GPS to get home, right? If you're using that GPS to get home, and let's say you're talking on the phone at the same time, do you may think you're multitasking, but you're really not, because how many of us have used our GPS and we were talking on the phone and then we missed like the main exit? You know what happens? We have this false sense of that we're multitasking, but what we're really doing is we're rapid task switching, meaning that the human mind works like this. When we want to like focus on something and something takes our attention, what occurs is that we have to focus on that thing solely, because it's no real thing of multitasking. Our we don't have two, how can I say it? We don't have two attention sensories. And let me see. I don't know if it's too early for me to mention this term, but we have what you call the parietal lobe, right? It's one of the four main lobes. You got your frontal lobe, parietal lobe, temporal lobe, occipital lobe. And then within your parietal lobe, you have three main functions, right? What time is it? Okay, let me hurry up and wrap this topic up. I don't want to stay on this one too long. So you have three functions within that parietal lobe, and the parietal lobe is located more so. They call it the posterior region of your brain. So it has three functions. It has your soul, somatosensory, which is the things that you remember off of like touch, with like the feel, right? Then you have the spatial sensor, which you can remember like where things were like in space wise. Like, oh, I remember that this light bulb was in this corner, right? That's that. And then the third thing is excuse me, I got hiccups. It's called the DAN, abbreviated the DAN, the dorsal attention network. And this is what your mind deems as important to focus on. But what it starts with is, first, your thalamus takes in this process. Stay with me. Stay with me. I'm not trying to talk too technical. Let's just remember my first topic is that multitasking is a fallacy. You're really rapid task switching. Which let me just cut out all of that. Maybe I'll come back around to that point. But this is something that's dangerous, because what happens is you may think that you're making great progress because you're quote unquote multitasking. But what did I say earlier? They done studies to say that we check our phones 150 times a day, and then we can't go 6 to 7 minutes without checking our phones. So this is why 30-minute tasks, we're just not efficient. This is why a 30-minute task can now take 6 hours, man, because we're trying to multitask. You trying to read a book, but you got the TV on, right? You trying to get through, I don't know, let's say you try to get through 20 pages of a book, which it probably would have taken less than an hour to do so. But now you're trying to watch television while you're doing it. You wonder why it took 8 hours for you to get through 20 pages, right? Because you're trying to multitask. You're trying to complete a task. Maybe you're trying to push your business along. Maybe you're trying to organize bookings and things of that nature. And then once again, you're distracted. You're quote unquote multitasking, which isn't efficient whatsoever. So war on attention. I think I'm about to wrap this topic up so y'all can stay with me. If y'all want me to go more in depth on this topic, which I really can, but I need to keep this live moving to keep it engaging. I can't just stay on one specific topic all live, or y'all not gonna watch this at all, like whatsoever.